afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another conversation with Kelly. I am your hostess with the mostest, as they say. I am Kelly Spencer, and I am so glad that you all decided to eavesdrop on this little bitty conversation. We are so glad again that you are here. Do me a favor, since you are here, like, share, click subscribe, and make sure in the comment section, let me know you eavesdropping. Let me know who you are so I can holler back at you. Even if you just want to say your name, what city you're from, if you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the comments. A happy new year, everybody. Can you believe it? This is 2023. Wow, we made it. We made it. And because of that, we're at the beginning of the year. So many people want to start out the new year with goals and achieving goals and setting goals. So I thought it would just be befitting that we kick off our first conversation with Kelly, talking about manifesting your goals for 2023. All right. And so, as many of you know, I am not a teacher, but by profession, but just as a way of communicating, that's just my nature. And so, what I want to do is just set the stage, give you a little bit of foundation about what we're going to talk about. And again, like, share, and please let us know who you are. And also put comments in the comment section. We'll be more than glad to answer your questions. All right. So the first thing we're going to talk about real quick before I bring my guest on is manifesting your goals. First thing I want you to know is if you aim at nothing, you will hit it every time. Let me say that again. If you aim at nothing, you will hit it every time. Second, happiness is not a goal, but rather it is a byproduct. Happiness is not a goal, but it's a byproduct of you achieving your goal, whatever that may be. The third thing is do what you say or change your agreement. How many people have you known that say, oh, yeah, I'll be there at 6 o'clock, and they never show? Or it's 7 o'clock, or it's 8 o'clock. You lose confidence in them. So if you are not going to be a woman or man of your word, just simply reach out and let the person know, hey, I thought I would be there at 6, but I'm running late, whatever the case may be. And then lastly, in order to manifest your goal, you must evaluate your progress at least every 90 days. And the coach is going to talk about why that is important to measure your progress. Something I found that was just so funny to me. If you want to make goals and things like that, make sure you write them in pencil, but give God the eraser. I'll say that again. If you want to write your goals down, write them in pencil and give God the eraser. And why I laugh is because, God has his own way of making things happen in his timing, in his way. Not always the way we want it to work out, but he will definitely make sure that what he has for you, his plans, his desires will go forward. And then the last thing, I'm going to close out and then get our guest on because I'm super excited about talking with her. Jeremiah 23:11, for I know the plans that I have for you, says the Lord, plans for good and not for disaster, to give you a future and a hope. So that's what we're going to talk about on today, is how to manifest your goals. This woman, man, I could go on and on and on and on and on about what she means to me, but I will just kind of simply say she is a woman of virtue. She is just a mentor just by nature, and you'll see what I mean in a minute. My guest is Lois Jackson. She has a bachelor in business technology. She has a master's in Christian counseling. She is a certified Christian counselor. She is currently a career coach at Work Faith, and she is the founder of Pathway to Destiny Counseling Center. So, everybody, give it up for my guest as we have a conversation today, Miss Lois Jackson. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you so much, Kelly. I am so honored to be here with you. And I am just simply amazed at how you are moving forth, helping and encouraging people as they go through this journey we call life.
Yes, and that's the whole purpose of the conversation. You know, how many times have you been at a restaurant with your girlfriend, and you know he or she dropped nuggets, life changing
Yes,
nuggets, and so that's all it is, just casual conversations,
yeah,
but it's about empowering and equipping God's people.
very good, very
So
good.
welcome again, Miss Lois. I am super excited. Let me tell y'all. I met Miss Lois when I worked at WorkFate a few years ago. And I was at the point where I really wanted to move forward with some of my goals. And I kind of shared it. And she said, well, you know what? I started my own counseling center. I was like, really? And so, long story short, I did a couple of sessions with her, and history uh, just unfolded. She pushed and she encouraged me. And let me tell you, when I first talked to her, I talked about my book, Triple Delight Birthday. And the first thing she said was, okay, that's good. That's good. So when are you going to make it happen? When you want to release it? And I went, I had to take that deep breath and swallow, because I had not really thought about when and how and who. I just knew I had this idea, and I knew it was time to give birth to it. And so I thank you for pushing me. And for those of you all that don't remember, my book, Triple Delight Birthday, I think it was the second day, hit number 5 on Amazon. And I called Miss Lois, Miss Lois, guess what? Guess what? Do you remember me?
Yes, I was so happy about that because
Yes.
something that you had dreamed about manifested and in a big way. And that's how God always shows out, though.
And by the way, let me add, no marketing, no major push. Just released it, and that was it. And God
Wow.
took it, that baby, and he just did what he wanted to do with it. And then
Yeah.
it eventually hit number 1. And then I called her about 2 months, 3 months later in August, that it won the Indie Award.
Right. Oh
Yes,
my
yes,
God. That was
yes. So
wonderful.
thank you, Miss Lois, for pushing me. And that's why I know you are the perfect person to push those who are watching to manifest their goals in 2023.
Yeah, definitely. And you know what, Kelly? It's not even really a push, it's
Hmm.
just a nudge
Hmm.
because those things that you've been dreaming about, you need somebody to just kind of reinforce those things that are already in you. You just kind of sitting on it.
Yes,
And I
yes, yes,
let you know, okay, it's time to get up
yes,
and get it moving.
yes, yes, you did. And had I not um, took heed, I don't know if I ever would have went any further than just actually writing it.
Wow.
Yeah. So how important is a mentor or a coach?
Um, a coach is so very important, mainly as an encourager and somebody that you will remain accountable to.
Yes. Yeah.
Because a lot of times we think, okay, this is what I'm planning to do and I'm going to do it. But we also know that if we don't do it, nobody knows about it. So we won't get hounded about it. So
Right.
many
Right.
times we refuse to tell people what our goals are because if we fall short, see, we're giving ourselves an out. So,
Yes.
if nobody knows, then it's okay. Well,
Yes. Yes.
God said it's not okay
Hmm. Hmm.
because He has stuff that He wants you to accomplish. And
Hmm.
the reason
Hmm.
He put all of that in you is so that it can be shared. And so having that coach there that will help you stretch yourself some things that
Yes.
you thought
Yes.
maybe you were not able to do, you find
Yes.
out, okay, if I just take it a step at a time, I can get it done. And
Yes.
that coach is there to encourage you during those times when you see nothing happening.
Hmm.
We realize that even though we don't see something happening, it doesn't mean nothing is
It's
happening. God is
happening.
always working
Absolutely.
behind the scenes.
Absolutely.
Yes. And so that coach is there to help you through those times so that you will keep going. You won't get discouraged. You'll just keep going.
And everybody sets goals, whether they know it or not. Oh, this year I'm going to lose 10 pounds. This year I'm going to uh, travel. This year I'm going to whatever.
Hmm.
But at some point, what causes them not to achieve their goals, and you talk about it on your website, is the blockers.
Yes,
Something blocking them from moving forward.
definitely.
Share a little bit about the blockers.
And a lot of times they don't acknowledge that these things are in the way. We're talking about things like fear of rejection. If I have say for instance, I have a goal that I want to get a promotion. You're
Hmm.
afraid that if you go for it, you're going to be turned down. So maybe I shouldn't try that. Sometimes it's trust issues that
Yes,
keep
yes.
us from setting goals because sometimes our goals relate to other people and what they'll do for us. And if you don't trust anybody to do what they say, help you out, or whatever, then you're going to kind of slide back from trying to pursue that goal. Limiting beliefs,
That's a big
that
one.
is the mother.
That's a big one.
It
Yes,
is
yes,
because those limiting beliefs will keep you stuck right where you are because
yes.
you don't believe it's going to happen for you. You don't believe that you deserve it. You don't believe that others believe in you. And of course, if you don't believe in yourself, it's
Why
hard for other
won't
people to believe
someone
in
else
you
do
as
it?
well.
Right,
That's
right,
right.
right.
So those are the kind of things, even low self-esteem,
Hmm.
that'll
Hmm.
keep you from
Hmm.
setting goals. If you have a wounded spirit, you
Oh,
know,
that's good.
yes, that will keep you stuck in the place of, I don't deserve it. I'm not good enough. I was misled. I was
Hmm.
lied to.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
so you're feeling like everybody is going to see you in that same way. And you become a victim by yourself,
Yes,
within yourself.
yes,
And
yes.
so that's one of the things as well. And we know depression definitely can keep you from setting goals. It's like, what's the use?
Been
Nothing's
there,
gonna
done that.
happen.
Nothing happened before, so why would it
Yeah,
happen this time? Mhm.
yeah. And you just get into that pit where you just feel like you're not going to ever get out. And that's such a lonely place. I know I have been there myself. Yes, definitely. Limiting beliefs can be associated with not knowing your value.
Absolutely,
Do you
absolutely.
realize the value God has placed on your life? And you have to start buying into that as well. So,
Yes.
limiting beliefs, like I said, it will hold you back from ever achieving those things that you've dreamed about. As a matter of fact, it'll stop you from even dreaming.
Yes, it will. And
Mhm.
some of those blockers could be the unbelief, I don't have enough money.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That was my blocker. Like,
Uh,
okay, I'm single, I have to pay all these bills. There's no tall, gorgeous, handsome man to help. And so how am I going to make all this happen?
Yes.
because flyers cost, and websites cost, and so yeah, it can be
Yes.
definitely a hindrance. But then you said something so powerful: if you don't believe in yourself, why would someone else believe in you?
Mhm. Mhm.
So that was my mental shift, was like, you know what, okay, I don't know where God's going to take this book or whatever idea he gave me, but I just have to be obedient, steward it, foster it, develop it,
Mhm.
and then trust him. He will do the work. He'll do the rest.
Mhm. Definitely.
Yes.
Definitely. And we definitely don't want to leave out another blocker, which is being involved in damaging or toxic relationships.
Oh,
Yes, because
okay.
you may
Okay.
have people in your life that are telling you you're not
Mhm.
going to ever achieve that. I don't know, who do you think you are, trying to
Right.
go off and do something like that? You know,
Right.
that's not the type of
Right.
people we are. We
Right.
didn't come up with money, and you can't do it. You couldn't even, you were 5 years old before you could even tie your shoe. You know, it could be something totally ridiculous. Or you
Yes.
tried
Yes.
it before and it didn't work.
It did work.
Why are you wasting your time? You wasting your time. you
Hmm.
know all those things, if you have those kind of people in your life that are feeding into the negative side, that can definitely stop you from setting goals.
And what would you say would be the best defense or offense, I should say, method to handle negative people, especially in your family? Because if they don't have goals and have achieved their goals, then they're going to rain on yours. So
Mm-hmm.
why do you want to go to Princeton? Why do you want to go to
Mm-hmm.
Harvard? You know,
Mm-hmm.
what makes you think, just like you said? So, what would some of the offensive um, strategies to move forward and not let that block you from
Well,
manifesting?
one of the things that we have to learn is, we have to learn, number one, you cannot tell everybody your dreams.
Please say that
Everybody,
again.
you cannot tell everybody your dream. Everybody does not deserve to know what you're doing,
Absolutely.
especially
Absolutely.
when you know those people are coming from a negative bent.
Hmm. Hmm.
Another thing you have to do is learn how to love them from a distance.
Oh, Miss Lois. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Some people, you cannot pick the family that you're born into.
Of course. Of course.
And we know that we all have some form of, yes, and I dare say we all have some form of dysfunction in our
Hmm.
families.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
When you know that that is the case, then you are going to do your best to still love that person, but recognize the
Hmm.
toxicity they're bringing into your life.
Hmm. Hmm.
And as soon as you can, find ways, maybe small ways at first, but of starting to distance yourself from them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because what would happen if you don't distance yourself from them?
You are going to continue to be bombarded with that same stuff, and it's going to kill your spirit. It's going to kill your belief in yourself.
You took the words right out of my mouth. Yes, yes. Because it's like they're feeding that into your spirit,
Hmm.
which says you can't, you won't, why should you? But if God gave you the vision, He's going to give you the provision.
That's right. That's right. And that's what I found happening in the lives of so many people. They were being held back by things that happened maybe early in their lives. As a child, they were told certain things.
Yes,
And,
yes,
you
yes.
know, in some kind of way, people have a way of reminding you of all the failures you went through. They have a way of reminding you of the fact that in the past you fell down on the job, or we couldn't depend on you, and you never took care of
Mhm.
yourself, and it will just tend to start those tapes rolling again in your head. Those
Yes,
are the tapes that limiting beliefs are born from.
yes. And the last thing I'll add to that is um, the way to get rid of or counter those limited beliefs. You first have to defend it with the word,
Definitely.
because
Definitely.
God says, I'll give you, I know the plans that I have for you. You have to remind yourself, okay, he already knows the plans.
Hmm.
He'll make you the head and not the tail,
Hmm. Above and not beneath,
above and not
a
beneath,
lender and not a
not
borrower.
a borrower. That's right.
Mhm.
That's right. And then the most important, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
That's right. And
So
that second part of it is really, really important, through Christ,
yes,
because so many times we're trying to do things in our own strength. We
yes,
don't have what it takes to stand up against the devil, the
yes,
enemy,
yes.
without Christ lending his strength to us. He sent the Holy Spirit here to be a comforter,
Hmm,
but
hmm.
also he is our advocate.
Yes, yes, yes. And the weapons are not carnal, but mighty through God, through the pulling down of strongholds. And sometimes that stronghold is that blocker.
That's right.
Hmm, hmm. So
Very
if
good.
you are out there and you're wondering how I can continue to move forward and manifest my goals, first thing is you got to get rid of those limiting beliefs
Mhm.
and those blockers.
Definitely.
Absolutely. Now, how do you advise people to set goals? Like, what's the first thing you say when someone says, "I have this brilliant idea"?
One of the first questions you need to ask yourself is, why do I want to do this? Why
Ooh,
is this
uh-huh.
important to me?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And it's so important for you to establish your why, because that's what's going to keep you going during those times when you don't see anything happening.
Absolutely,
Hmm. So
absolutely.
you have to tell yourself, okay, this is important to me because it's going to totally change my life. And then you need to expound on how it's going to change your life
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
and start seeing what you don't see right now.
Yes, yes, yes. There's a saying, "Say it until you see it."
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh,
Definitely.
uh-huh, uh-huh.
You won't see it until you say it.
That's right. That's right.
So, I realized when in the book of Genesis, so much was done on what God said. He
Yes.
said, let
Let
there
it
be.
be. Mm-hmm,
Yes.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So, and throughout scripture, he's told us that there's power in our words.
Yes.
You
Life and
know,
death. Yes.
life and death is in the power of the tongue. So we
Yes.
have to make sure that what we're saying goes along with what we're dreaming about.
Very good. Very good. And there's also something that I'm sure you talk to your clients in some way about SMART goals, making sure
Definitely.
your goals after write say it, write it, but they have to be smart.
They have to be smart. Yeah. And I think you showed something on those smart, very good.
Yes, yes.
Now, because it's not enough to say, I want to save some money. What is some? Okay, some.
Hmm.
That could be a
Quantify.
nickel.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
So it has to be specific. Make your goals specific and narrow for
Hmm,
more effective planning.
hmm.
So, how much money do you want to save? I want to save $10,000. Okay. And then that means it's now measurable.
Yes,
So define how you're going
yes,
to measure your progress and your success. So you might even have a little chart that shows you, okay, this is where you are. Have you ever seen when they are having these telethons or whatever, and they have these
The
little charts
the
that,
chart, yes,
yeah,
yes,
that
yes,
shows what
yes.
level that it has to be measurable, because that's how you can see that you're getting there. And make sure that you can realistically accomplish your goal. That is the A in SMART. Achievable. Is it achievable? You know, if if you only make $40,000 a year, is it really going to be possible for you to save 10,000 that year, keeping in mind all the other things you have to do with that
Expenses.
money?
Mm-hmm,
Okay.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm.
then is it relevant? Set goals that align with your long-term objectives. And that goes back to the why. Why am I trying to save this money? You know, is it that you want to buy a house? Is it that you want to buy a car? Saving money is going to be definitely relative or relevant to that experience of being able to buy a car or a house. And then it does definitely have to be time based. In what period of time do you want to save the amount of money you want to save? Okay. So all of that, once you have made it specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time based, then you have a SMART goal.
That's good, Miss Lois. That is good because I started smiling and laughing. You know, everybody knows me. I have a sense of humor. I try, at least I try to have it. Uh, it wouldn't make sense for me being petite, and those of you that know me know I'm petite. I can never be an NBA basketball player, so that would not be smart for me to say I want to be in the WNBA because I cannot make the goal.
That's right.
But
That's right.
you hit it on the head. You have to measure it, but evaluate it as well. At least every so often to say, okay, here's my progress. Here's what I've
Yes.
done. You know, when you are on a diet or whatever, they say, okay, you know, here's your starting weight. Okay, we're going to weigh you in at this point in 3 months,
Hmm.
and then another 3 months, just to make
Hmm.
sure you're progressing and not digressing.
That's right. That's right. Because it's so easy to get off track. You
Is
know, we
very,
we
very.
have disruptions, distractions
Mhm,
that come up
mhm.
all the time, and they will definitely take you off your course. When you do that evaluation, then it lets you know, am I still headed in the right direction or am I off course? And what do I need to do to get back on track?
Absolutely. Now, let's do switch to you now.
Okay.
In your life, so that the viewers can know that you practice what you preach. At what point did you realize that manifesting your goal um, had to be done in a different way to bring about the results you wanted?
I'm glad you asked that. I'm just going through a situation right now that I had always talked about. One of the things that I do as a life coach, I do have a vision board workshop, and so I had set up my vision board, but I realized you can't just set it up and look at the pictures. You got to be moving toward it. And
Mhm.
so I started taking some bold leaps. And I said, I wanted a certain kind of car.
Mhm. Mhm.
Now, let me tell you something, because we do know God has a sense of humor too. Um,
Absolutely.
Sometimes some of the ways we think we're going to do stuff is not how He plans it out to happen. So, just as it would happen, something dramatic happened to me, and I had to get a new car. But that opened the door for me to get the car that I
I
wanted.
want it.
So
Yeah.
I got that. Now, just here last week, no, week before last, I moved into a new place. a place I had talked about moving for a couple of years at least. But I kept thinking, oh, I don't know if I'm going to have enough money,
Mhm,
because
mhm,
you have
mhm.
to have make certain amount of money to qualify to get into these places, especially the kind of place that I wanted to get into. And so I said, Lois, what are you doing to get yourself there? And so, and as would have it, one Sunday, I was driving from over to an event I had attended. And I said, Lois, why don't you just drop in and see what it looks like? You might not even want to live there.
Right, right,
And I
right.
went in and I loved it. And I decided right then and there, I said, some kind of way,
Mhm,
I'm
mhm,
going to be able to move into
mhm,
that place.
mhm.
Um, y'all, if I tell you the way God moved, y'all wouldn't even believe some of the things that He did to ensure that I could move in here when I needed to, when it was most advantageous.
Advantageous for you. Yes, yes, yes.
And it happened. I still have a couple of boxes of, if you all can see some of my background, some things are still where I'm unpacking. But I just marvel at what He will do when we step forward and take that risk. Like you said before, if He gives you that idea, if He gives you that,
Mhm.
puts it inside of you, it's for a reason.
That's
So
right.
you
That's
have to
right.
believe in Him, have
Right.
that faith, and take the leap. You know, it's not gonna, so many people think things are just gonna rain down from above. That's typically not how it happens.
You
So,
mean you just don't snap your finger and
no,
boom?
no, you don't. No, you don't. You have to actually take some steps. So that's when, I started, I had a dream, first of all. I had that dream of moving to that place. Then I sat down and I started putting my thoughts on paper. What would it take for me to, from this day to that day, to be able to move in? And then after I sat down, what it says, what is the scripture says, um, write the vision, make it
Mhm.
plain.
Right. Yes, yes,
That's what I did. That's what it does when you write things down. It gives you clarity.
yes.
Then I actually started taking the steps. That's when I said, well, I'm going to go for a tour. Then when they told me what was required, it was much less than I thought it was going to be. And I was like, if I had not taken the time to do that, I never would have known. You
Mhm,
know,
mhm,
that
mhm.
fear of the unknown, that fear of failing or whatever, it a lot of times will take over, and
Yeah,
it'll keep us from even acting. But I
yeah.
acted on it, and I'm here today. It manifested.
And that just ties into your blockers that you talked about.
Yes, definitely.
Absolutely,
Hmm.
absolutely. And the thing about it is, I wanted people to know that we practice what we preach.
Yes,
That we're just not coming on here saying, "Oh, well, this is how you do it, and this is why." No,
right.
we done everything opposite, and then when we began to get some wisdom,
Yes,
then things happen. And just like I shared
yes,
with you all at the beginning, until I sat down with Lois, and she challenged me. Okay, so when are you gonna do it? Okay, by when? And the next question, by when? And the next question, by when? I'm like, I don't know. But if it had not been for that, which is leading me to the next question, about accountability, the book still would have been on the shelf, or in the computer,
yes,
just sitting and waiting. And it was because of my limited beliefs of other projects and other things I've done that, for whatever reason, I don't know if it was just not the timing, but it usually was the finances. It was, you name it.
yeah.
But when I really followed the pattern that you gave me, that's when
Mhm.
things started happening.
Oh, and you know what? And I applaud you for doing it, because a lot of people have the pattern. A
Hmm.
lot of people
Hmm.
have talked
Hmm.
about the strategies, but they never move
Execute.
forward. Yes.
Yeah.
And that's why accountability is such an integral part of making your goals manifest. Because,
Yes.
as I said earlier, a lot of times we feel like if nobody else knows, if nobody else is holding my feet to the fire, I can renege on myself all day long and not feel anything about it. But let me tell you something, let me warn you. When you fail to keep your word to yourself,
Mhm.
you're damaging your self integrity. You
Yes.
stop
Yes.
believing in yourself.
Yes. Yes.
So the next time something comes up, those tapes start playing in your head again. Well, you didn't do it last time. I don't know what makes you think you're going to do it this time,
Mhm.
Lois.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
So, I mean, and I can
Mhm.
hear those tapes myself sometimes when I'm pulling back without even realizing it.
It's so easy to do.
Yes, it is. Oh, I don't have to do that right now. Yes, you do.
Right.
Yes, you
Right.
do.
Right. Absolutely. And that's why I opened up, setting the stage about the topic.
Yeah.
One of the points was um just realizing you have to measure and every so often, you have to just create this. If I want something to change, I have to make it change.
Right.
Not without God,
Right.
but you have to. What's that saying? Giggle, garbage in, garbage out. So what you put in
Yes.
is going to come out. So if you keep
Yes.
procrastinating,
Hmm.
procrastination is going to come. And then the one of the bullets I talked about was the if you can't keep your word,
Yes.
then at least notify,
Yes.
because that's self accountability first, like you said, and then accountability and courtesy to the other person. Like I thought I was going to do it by this, but I really can only do it by this.
Yes. And that is so important. I had somebody, and I like to be transparent with my clients to let them know, first of all, you're not on this by yourself, that we all make mistakes and we all need accountability. I
Yes.
had that happen to me a couple of weeks ago. I was supposed to go visit a friend, and I told them I would be there around 2 o'clock. And so, in the process of the one of the things that I was working on, it took a little longer than I thought it was going to. Oh, no, I tell you exactly what it was. My son was coming in from out of town, and he came in just as I was getting ready to leave out.
Okay.
Well, so of course, I just thought to myself, well, let me make sure I get my son situated first, and then I'll go. And I just totally forgot. Well, that friend, who is a good friend, called me on it because it was
Yes.
like
Yes. Yes.
2:15. That person called me and said,
Where are you?
where are you? Because they know I like to be on time. I'm usually
Mhm.
prompt. And I said, I'm on my way now. I'm on my way now. What happened to 2 o'clock? And I was like, well, and started telling them what happened. And they said, so you couldn't call and let me know? I said, you know what? Let me apologize right now because I should have done that. That's exactly what I should have done. And so, like I said, that person held me accountable. And did I get angry about it? Did I try to make excuses and say, well, but do you understand how important that was to me? My son was, no, I immediately acknowledged and respected that person's time. And so, in doing that, then I restored my own sense of integrity,
Absolutely.
being who I say I am. If I say I'm a prompt and timely person, then that's regardless of what comes up. Now, of course, we all have emergencies where we might not be able to stop and do something, but always keep yourself accountable. Always, if you owe somebody an apology, to let them know, look, I totally respect you, and I am so apologetic for not being able to meet what I did. But you were right, and I was writing that down when you said that do what you say or change your agreement, because we all get to that point sometimes where we do have to have a change. Um, life requires that we be flexible sometimes. And so in that, and the people that know and love you, they'll understand that.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Excuse me. These allergies. Oh my goodness. Excuse me. Oh my goodness.
I understand.
Woo, my allergies have been kicking for. Woo. Well, I'm not gonna claim it. I'm claiming healing.
That's
There we go.
right. I plead
There we
healing
go.
over you right
There
now
we
in the
go.
name of
There,
Jesus.
there we go. All right. Well, talk about your pathway to destiny counseling center.
Well, it's actually coaching,
Uh-huh.
even though I have the master's in Christian counseling.
Uh-huh.
And I started out in counseling. Let me say that I started out in counseling. But what I found after a period of time was, and I totally believe in counseling because I have a counselor myself, but I wanted and needed to go in a direction where people are moving forward. So much of counseling delves into the past and what happened to you in the past and what made you as you are. And a lot of times, even in my coaching, I will encourage my clients to see a counselor or a therapist.
Mhm,
So, but I just back in 2016 was when I decided that I was going to switch from counseling to coaching because I want to be instrumental. And I felt like this was what God wanted for me. I want to be instrumental in people moving forward
mhm,
because, we can get stuck in reliving the
mhm.
past and what happened back then. Nothing is going to change. Nothing is going to change by
Absolutely.
continuing to recount what happened. Now, do we need to find effective ways of getting past it? Yes, we do.
Yes,
But in
yes.
coaching, we're taking you from where you are right now. If you have the honest and
Mhm,
earnest desire to
mhm,
move forward,
mhm.
that's the only thing that you can have some impact on is your right now and your future. So
Absolutely.
so that's when I decided life coach was for me. And I realized that it really just kind of came naturally for me
It
because,
does. It does.
yeah, it
Uh-huh.
seemed like all my life, as a matter of fact, since I was even in high school, friends used to come to me, with questions about this and that, and they would ask my advice. And I was thinking to myself, why do they keep coming to me? But I found that I really enjoyed seeing them when they made progress. And so I just started doing it till finally, it was like, okay, Lois, you can be doing this on an even broader scale.
Mhm,
Your friends are telling you what kind of results they're getting.
mhm,
So
mhm.
there are a whole lot of people out there that God is sending my way.
Yep.
And,
Yep.
and I have found this, as you said earlier, I'm a career coach for work faith. And it is so amazing to me that it seems like the people that are assigned to my caseload, we have so much in common. It is
Mhm,
just
mhm.
amazing because as they start talking, I'm like, oh, that's something that I did before. Or, oh, I know that person too. Oh, I traveled here too. Oh, I had that same issue with my children as they were growing. It's just so much. And when people think that they're going through an experience, you
And
know, they,
nobody else has been through it but them.
yeah,
Mhm,
nobody else has been through but them.
mhm,
And
mhm,
one of the things that I readily share with my clients, both in career coaching and in life coaching, are some of the experiences that I have been through. I've been through divorce. I've
mhm,
been through
mhm,
bankruptcy. I've
mhm,
been through
mhm,
homelessness.
Mhm.
I've been through losing close family members.
Mhm.
I've
Mhm.
you know I told one of my friends one time I felt like Joe Bet. I call myself Joe Bet because of the way things happened to me. At one point in my life, it was like, God, what is going on here? But he really brought me out and he showed me what I needed to see at the time, which
Mhm.
was the fact that there are people around who are willing and ready to help you. And
Yes.
so that's what I wanted to be to other people. I wanted to be that catalyst that would see them through when they have some issues that they're trying to get past, or if they have some goals that they're setting.
Well, you do it and you do it well.
Oh, thank you,
Yes,
Kelly.
you do. I mean, we used to work together at WorkFaith, like I mentioned. Uh, the clients just seem to, gravitate to you.
Well, and because, and I've heard them tell me many times, Miss Lois, you're so personable. It's easy to talk to you. You
Yes,
know,
yes.
you don't judge me, you don't condemn me. And I was like, baby, I am not the one who can do that because I know some of the things that I've been through. And so I try always to be accepting. God gave me the gifts of encouragement and compassion
Mhm,
and leadership and even organization. And
mhm.
he told me there's more than one way to help people out. And so I started figuring out those different ways that I could do that. And it was through some of those experiences that were bad for me at the time, but he brought me out. He let me know I allowed you to go through this so that you can help
Help
somebody else.
somebody else.
Yes,
Yeah.
because I have people that I'm sending to you.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's a whole story in itself, Kat.
Well, you have been, I mean, really instrumental in my life. So again, I thank you for just
Um,
your words of um, affirmation. Like, okay, Kelly, you could do it. Okay. Okay, let's talk about it. Let's
mhm.
break it down. I mean, I kept all those notes.
I'm glad. I'm
Yes,
glad you did.
ma'am. Well, speaking of your coaching, tell everybody how they can get in contact with you.
All right, real good. Well, they can definitely get to me. I am on Facebook,
Hmm.
Instagram,
Hmm.
and definitely I'm on LinkedIn as well.
Hmm.
And through my website, that's
Which
the
is at the
Pathway
bottom.
Coach.
Hmm.
Yes, coming across the screen now,
Hmm.
thepathwaycoach.com. And if you
Hmm.
want to send me an email, just send it to Lois at thepathwaycoach.com. That's how they can get in contact with me.
Okay. And tell us, what do you have coming up?
Well, I'm glad you asked that as well, because it just so happens that I have a free 3-day workshop. And guess what it's on? Limiting beliefs. It's called Take the Limits Off. So that is coming up. That would be January the 23rd through the 25th, 6:30 to 8 o'clock p.m.
Okay.
And all they have to do is go to my website and
Mhm.
look for free workshop and click on that. It will take you right there to where you need to sign up. And again,
Okay.
it's free. And the thing about it is, um, I know that there are so many people that do have goals. They have dreams that maybe they put on the back burner, you
Yes.
know, and
Yes.
you don't have to do that. You've watched opportunities pass you by. You have uh, not been able to get to the life that you wanted to live. And it's because a lot of times of those limiting beliefs. So that's why I'm asking people to go ahead and join me for that free 3-day workshop. Again, it's called Take the Limits Off. January the 23rd, that's a Monday, through Wednesday, January the 25th, 6:30 p.m. to 8 o'clock p.m. And you will get some wonderful insight on that because I'm going to actually give you some tips on how you need to act in order to get past some of those limiting
Of those
beliefs.
limiting beliefs. Okay.
Mhm.
Now, is it going to be virtual, in person?
It is going to be virtual. I found that
Okay.
I can reach a lot more people.
Hmm.
A lot of times, there are a lot of us that are still working. And
Hmm.
so it's much easier to come home, get yourself settled in, and then get on Zoom and go through a program rather than trying to drive across town someplace.
In Houston traffic.
Yeah,
Hmm.
in Houston
Hmm.
traffic and try to get there. So right now I'm holding most of the workshops and the group coaching sessions and programs that I do virtually. So that
Okay.
makes it much easier for so many.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, Miss Lois, it has been a joy to have you kick us off for the 2023
Yes.
year, talking about how we can manifest our goals. And I
Yes.
pray that those of you all who were just eavesdropping, just took some notes. It's okay. We don't mind if you take notes and
That's right.
contact her. You will be so glad that you did, especially if you're in that stuck stage, uh,
Yes.
those mental blockers. Um, you have those limiting beliefs, whatever the case may be. If you just need somebody to just push you and just give you the guidance and the tools that you need to move
Yes.
forward. And think about this: there is not one professional athlete, Muhammad Ali, Michael Jordan, Shaq, all had coaches.
Yes.
All
Definitely.
had coaches and at
Yes.
various stages, different coaches. Some condition,
Mm-hmm.
some work on your technique.
Mm-hmm.
So there's different kinds of coaches. But
Mm-hmm.
again, if you want to manifest your goals in 2023, first write them down.
Yes.
Second, pray. Well, actually, that should be the first thing. Pray in terms of how God wants it to manifest and when, but write it down. And then get rid of those limiting beliefs. So,
Yes.
thank you all for tuning in and eavesdropping. I want to let you know that on January 22nd, we will have another conversation kicking us off the new year, talking about mental health, because mental health is so key right about now. So many people have lost loved ones, lost
Mhm,
jobs, homes, uh,
mhm, mhm.
whatever the case may be. So I have Dr. Lynn Rhonda Buford coming, and she's going to talk about the mental health aspect, so we can start our new year off going for the gold, as they say,
Mhm.
and be usable as a tool that God can use in this last day and time. So again, thank you all for joining us, and look forward to much bigger and better things. Please make sure you subscribe, because coming up in February, oh my God, singles, I got you. We have a conversation just going to talk about some single issues in these dating streets in 2023.
Yes,
And
yes.
we also have a conversation dealing with marriage and what the purpose is, and how God instituted it. And if you're believing for marriage, things that you need to know to have a strong marriage. So, again, January is packed, February is packed. I can't even tell you what else is on the schedule for the rest of the first half of the year, but you do not want to miss it. So, like, subscribe, and share. You never know. You may meet somebody who wants to start a business and, just fearful. I don't know if I can. How is it gonna work? Share this video with them. So again, this has been Kelly Spencer, and I am so glad that you tuned in. And until next time, you all be blessed, and we'll see you next time.